Got the heater core replaced in this Crown Vic. At times it took 3 people because of how heavy the dashboard is. You don't have to disassemble this dashboard. You can leave everything intact. Don't have to take the radio out. Don't have to take the heater controls out. Don't have to mess with the cluster over there. The only thing you have to do is drop the steering column. Take 3 bolts out of the top of the dashboard. Take 3 bolts out of the bottom of the dashboard. First thing I would do, I would take this cover here off and I would unplug the little connectors back in here, and I would take off these 3 grounds if you have them, because after this dashboard drops, this is going to be hard to get to. But good luck with your project. I mean, there's easier ways to do it. Just look at this video and see what you want to do first, because this was trial and error. I've never done this to a Ford before, so I'm sure there's quicker ways to do it, and there's other things that you might want to do first that I did not do first. There's other things that I would actually have done first had I known how to do this job. Also, I never disconnected the battery, and I never disabled the airbags. Didn't see any reason to do that, but that's up to you whether you want to do that or not. We're going to lift the hood, and we're going to drain the radiator of any fluids. We're going to go underneath here on the driver's side, and we're going to drain the antifreeze from the radiator. So on the driver's side, down behind the radiator, you see that little white nylon piece right there? You got to turn it counterclockwise to drain the antifreeze. Grab your pan, put it underneath the radiator. The water's going to come out from right here. We're going to take adjustable wrench, put it on here, and we're going to start loosening this up counterclockwise. As you can see, it draining. It drained pretty good. We're going to go ahead and tighten this back up. Here's our 2 hoses for the heater core. We'll take those spring clamps and back them off, and then we'll take the hoses off. Okay, once you get the clamps off the heater hoses and get them off, go back here and you'll see that bolt right there sticking out. Take the nut off of it. We got the hoses off. They were a little tough to get off, but they came off. At least they were in a really simple spot to get to. We want to open the glove compartment, and right here there's a little like cable hanging down. Go ahead and disconnect that, and it'll go back up in here. It's like a retractor. Pull your sides in on your glove compartment and drop it down. There's a bolt right up in here, and if you go over to the other side, you'll see that there's a bolt right here. We're going to take those out. And we got the 2 screws out. One of them was actually holding on this emergency brake plus the panel. And then we got the other one out of here. Now just give it a firm pull. It's got clips up here. They should come out. A little tough. There we go. So you see, got the clips. Now we're going to take out this plate. Right here is underneath the steering column. It has 5 small bolts in it, or small screws. Okay, what we'll do, we'll come down here and we'll take that one out, that one out, that one out. Come over here and we got one there, and we have one right there. Okay, now that that's off, what we want to do next so we don't forget is take out this little screw right here, and that will take this piece off that wraps around the column. That is actually connected to your shifter to tell you what gear you're in. So you don't want to break that. You want to take that loose and put it out of the way. So what we need to do now is turn the key on. We need to set our emergency brake, which I've already done. Push the brake in, pull the shifter all the way down. Take the key back as far as you can get it. That way, in case it's making any noise that's a nuisance, it should stop. You can see I've taken the screwdriver and pulled this little wire right here off. Now we're going to take this screw right here out. Once you have that little wire off, you can go ahead and put it back in park and turn your key back off. And you will notice that the shifter will stay down in first gear. Okay, I got it out. I put the screw right back up in here so I won't lose it. I'm just going to let that hang over. Now under the driver's side, I'm going to go up in here and I'm going to take that nut off. So if we get down here on the driver's side, we go down under, we look up into the dash, and right there is a 5/8 nut. We have to remove that. Once you get that nut off there, you come down here, you got this side panel. Right here is the hood release. What you do is you take this little plastic piece, pop it out, get it out of the way. Now when you take this piece of plastic out, it'll come right over top of this. Okay, what you want to do here is just move your rubber out of the way, like so. Get it out of the way. That way you can pull this straight out. It's a little tough, you just gotta work with it. Move your running board down here out of the way. Pull it out from underneath the carpet. And pull it on out. And there it is. A little tight, but you can get it. Now we got the cover off. We got to take this bolt right here out. Now that it's out, let's go to the other side. We got the same thing over here. We just got to pull this cover out. Pull the rubber out of the way. Down here, just lift up your panel, your plastic panel. This here, just pull it out of the way. It should just clip out. Yep, the clip will just come out. Okay, see there? And pull it out. Get it out of your way. Okay, now we'll take this nut here off. It's a 10mm. Okay, at this point I'm going to remove those screws at the bottom of my glove compartment and just remove the glove compartment, get it out of the way so I can get a better visual of what I'm doing. Now we're going to go down here, and right there we're going to remove that. It's some kind of a plug with a wire on it. It's just that the wire's really tight. We need to break that loose just to get some slack. Now it's loose. Now when the dash comes forward, it'll not be pulling on this harness. Now I got to come down here and unhook the rest of these wires all the way to that harness right there, just so I'll have some more room to get these out. Looks like some of these grounds have been cut because this was a cruiser and they probably had a lot of grounds hooked up right there. I'll get rid of those. Okay, now we're down here where we took off the little harness. It's right here. It had the nut on the back of it, or the bolt. What we're going to do now is take this off. I'm going to pull this red thing back, and we're just going to pull it straight down and pull it out, and that's going to give us a bit more room. Also, we have another wire here that we have to disconnect. Okay, this other wire here, so you can see it, it's going right down in here. Move this out of the way. This wire here. Get this camera. Okay, this wire here is an antenna wire. We'll just go ahead and unhook it. If you follow it up to right here, we'll unhook it right there because that is an antenna wire. Okay, we're back on the driver's side. We're going to come under here and we're going to drop our column. We're going to take off this bolt here, this bolt here. There's a bolt, and straight across. Right there is the other bolt. Before I pull that last nut off of there to drop the steering column, I'm going to take this bracket here off. It's got a bolt here and a bolt over here, and maybe one on the bottom here. And we'll get this out of the way. That way the column will drop all the way down to the seat. Now I'm going to take the last nut off of the steering column. I'm going to drop it down to the seat. My steering column is now resting on the front seat. What I'm going to do now is take a small screwdriver, stick it under this front plate, pull it up, and pop it out. And there's clips that go all the way across, and we'll go ahead and pull this out. Then you'll come in here, and you'll have a bolt there. You come to the middle, you'll have another bolt. Go over to the end, you'll have another bolt. You have 3 bolts total that you have to remove. With the dashboard pulled out, you can see back behind there. Now we're going to come around here. We're going to go down here. We're going to take those 2 nuts off. We've got our box loose at the bottom. I'm going to have to disconnect that cable right there, or that plug. Go ahead and remove this hose right here. Comes right off. I have the dashboard out pretty well. It needs to come out farther for me to drop this box out, and I need to drop that steering wheel down into the floor. Okay, from the driver's side, I actually squeezed the steering wheel down in front of the driver's seat. That gave my dashboard a little bit more room to come out. Okay, if we go in deep, there's a nut right there. We got to take that nut off. We back out. Okay. Okay, right back in here is the 7/16 nut that's got to come off. I have an extension. I have a swivel on there. That's the only way I can get this nut off. Okay, this nut here that I took off is outside by the heater hoses. It did not help me. I had to take the nut off from the inside, and the heater core just fell out after I did that. This rod here, after taking the nut off, would not go through the firewall. Okay, once I took that 7/16 nut off, the whole unit just fell right out. Now I got 5 screws I got to pull out. I got one here, one here, one here, one here, and one there. There's the heater core with the top cover off of it. Now we'll just remove some of the foam and pull the heater core out and put the new one back in. I took the foam and peeled it off. And be careful with it, it will peel off, and you can put it on your new heater coil. It's not really hard to do. Go ahead and carefully place your heater coil back down into the box and put the lid on it and put the 5 bolts back in it. Got the 5 bolts in. Don't forget to put your little plate back on. If that bolt right there is stuck on the outside, make sure that you get it out of the firewall and put it on your box and bolt it down before you stick it back in, or else you will have all kinds of issues and take longer than what it really needs to be on this project. Okay, I got it bolted up on the bottom. I got to bolt the top up. It's going to be a real pain. Took 3 of us to get this back in here. This is the stud to the top of the heater core box. Make sure you put the nut on it and tighten it down. Okay, once you get the top of your dashboard bolted down all the way across, there's only the 3 bolts. Once you get your 3 bolts in, go ahead and throw your cover back on there, and you're done with the upper part there of the dashboard. Now, under the driver's side, go ahead and replace this nut right here. Then go down and replace this bolt right here. And then go to the other side and replace this nut. What we'll do now is take and lift up the steering column and put 1 nut on it to hold it up. Go ahead and pull out on your steering column if you need to get these to line up. Once you get one of them in place, take one of your nuts and just get it started. That should hold it in place until you get the other three started in. Don't forget to put this piece up behind this nut before you tighten it down. Okay, go ahead and take a 1/2 inch deep well socket. Go ahead and tighten the column up. Now we'll go ahead and remove this screw that we put back in to keep from losing it, because we want to hook our shifting linkage back up here. Once you get it snug down, go ahead and put your key back in the ignition, turn it on. You're going to have to push the brake in to push your shifter all the way to the floor. There you go. Got it all the way down. Now we're going to hook up our linkage. Now all we're going to do is take that little loop and we're going to hook it right over top of that little piece sticking out right there. And once it's on there, you just go ahead and take and put it back in park. Turn the key off, put the key out. Now we're going to go ahead and put this plate underneath the steering wheel. We're going to lift it right up here and we're going to put our 3 bolts in it. These here are 5/16. Now we'll go ahead and put our side cover on down here. Okay, it's the cover that's got the little black piece in it for the hood release. You have your little lip here. There's a place in the back for it. These 2 pieces right here, these little pins, you have a hole here and a hole here, and just line up your hood release and latch this in place. Okay, there it is. Now on this little plug here, you have a couple little spots there where it just slides in and then it clips on the other side. So we'll just put that in like so and just snap it down. We're done with this side. Now we'll go ahead and put our steel plate in here that was there before. And the steel plate will go up in here just like so. Okay, once you get the steel plate up in here, you bolt it down with 5 bolts. I got 3 in. 1, 2, 3. I got to put 2 more on the bottom and we'll be done with that. Now we'll go ahead and put the plastic cover underneath our column. It's got 3 little pins on it. Those pins will line up right here, and right here. We'll go ahead and snap those in place. Now we'll go ahead and put our parking brake release right there, because we're going to have to bolt it up. One of the bolts will go right here. The other bolt will go over here on the other side. Okay, the driver's side is completely put back together. You see me take this here off at the beginning of the video. I put it back on because there was no reason to take this off. Okay, now what we're going to do over here, first thing, we're going to reach back in here and we're going to hook up our hose that went across through here. And it plugged in right here. There we go. We got this back together. Now what we'll do, we'll come down here and we'll take this. See this little tab right here? There's a little spot back here underneath the dash. I'm going to go ahead and pop that in. Let's go ahead and take our big plug and we're going to push it right back up under here and latch it in. Now we're going to take this here and we're going to plug it in right there. And we're going to bolt it back down with the bolt. Okay, we got it tightened down. Now we're going to come out here, and I got all these ground wire, well, there's not all of them, but three ground wires. I'll go ahead and put a ground wire on each one of these. Get all of our grounds tightened up. Now we'll go ahead and put our cover on. It's going to be the same as the other side. It's got the little lip here on it. Slide it back in there. It's got the 2 little pins on it. So we're going to go right here and right here. Yeah, there's one other thing over here that you don't want to forget to do, and that's to hook up your antenna. It goes right back up in here. Now we'll go ahead and put the glove compartment back in and bolt it down. Now we're going to go out here, we're going to put our clamps up and make sure our hoses is secure, and we're going to fill it up with 50/50 antifreeze, and we'll be good to go.